Hello, everybody. This is Benjamin coming back at you. We're gonna install some bushings and a new bearing in a John Deere rider lawnmower, a 112L for the 42-inch deck. So there's the new pulley and the green bushings there. I gotta press that pulley in, and then you'll see here. I tried to use one of my disc brake that I cut apart. I use this quite a bit on my press, but for some reason I don't know where I was received that socket I had there to hold the pulley, because the pulley edge sticks down lower than the interior part where I'm trying to push this bearing in, and I kept going in crooked, and I think it had something to do with the disc brake being tapered or something like that, but it wasn't working. So I tried a few times, and it just did not work. So I ended up going to a board because I couldn't find my my metal pieces that came with the press. I have them now, but at the time I couldn't find them. So I lubed it up there and I pressed that bearing in. Pretty straightforward. But now I had to press it onto the piece that pivots on the mower deck. So I wanted to press, on the actual bearing so that it didn't press any further into that pulley. So I went to put the bushing on the shaft or the spindle that it sits on the mower deck, and it would not go. So I had to sand it quite a bit, and I was actually quite surprised because it would go on there quite a bit, and it would go on there pretty far, but it wasn't going on all the way, and it was giving me such a hard time. And I couldn't believe how hard or how much I had to file off of there in order for it to sit on there correctly. But it took a while, but I finally eventually got it seated all the way, and I pressed the piece back on. Or I didn't press it on, I pounded it back on. But it all worked out, and I used those vice grips to pound the top bushing in. And this took forever, too, putting this belt back on. I don't know why it took so long, but it did. So and I was there making sure that all the pulleys were aligned. So there was obviously a lot of stuff that goes into that, but yeah. So in a second here we'll get to installing it on the tractor, and here we are. Yeah, they for some reason John Deere makes it almost impossible to move this tractor. It's a hydrostatic transmission, and you have to hold a lever while you try to push the tractor. It's almost impossible. So anyway, I just had to install it there. This took a long time. I cut a lot of this out. It's pretty straightforward though. You just got to get all the pins in the right place and make sure that your height adjuster is attached properly. But one trick that I learned is for attaching a spring is use a string to pull on it with, and got her hooked up there. So taking her out for the first mow with the new bearing. Everything seems to be working properly. So awesome. Well, thank you guys so much for joining me today, and look forward to my next videos.